Hello, baseball fans, collectors, and investors. Welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I am Iconic Al, and I created this channel a few months back in order to educate, inspire, and share my collection with the community. I love baseball. I love the history of baseball. I love the all-time greats, and that's what I collect. I've devoted my collection to the top 100 greatest and most iconic ball players of all time. And on this channel, I am slowly but surely unveiling my list of the top 100 greatest players of all time. Today, we're going to do number 88 on the list, who is an icon, probably the most beloved player in Twins history. He brought 2 World Series rings to Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, and one of the great hitters of all time, a .318 average. I'm talking about the one and the only Kirby Puckett.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The great Kirby Puckett. His career was shortened to 12 seasons due to the loss of vision in one eye, and his life was shortened to 45 years due to a stroke. But in the time he had, he was elite. He hit .318 for a career with a .360 on-base percentage, amassing 2,304 hits, 10-time All-Star, 6-time Gold Glove Award winner. He won a batting title and 7 times landed in the top 10 of MVP voting. He totaled 51.2 WAR in his brief career, which is remarkable. Always seemed to be tallying 200 hits a season. And then his postseason really set him apart. .309 career postseason hitter with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs, leading the Twins to 2 World Series championships during his career. What he was able to do in about a 10 to 12 year span is pretty remarkable. He didn't hit those milestone stats that a lot of baseball fans like to see. He didn't get the 3,000 hits. Certainly would have had he had a full career. Didn't get to that 500 home run mark. And one thing I've probably matured as a collector is realizing who these players are that belong on this top 100 list despite not having those milestone numbers. The longer I've collected, I've started to realize that it isn't just about milestone numbers. As a younger collector, I used to think that's all it was. Did you reach 500 home runs? Yes, check mark, great. Then you're one of the best. 3,000 hits, same thing. But the longer I've been in the hobby, the more I realize that there's more to it than that. You know who else didn't reach milestone numbers? Jackie Robinson. You know who else? Sandy Koufax. It's more than just totals. Numbers in a column. Did your career add up to X number of home runs, X number of wins, X number of hits? It's more than that. Kirby Puckett is a great example of a player who is iconic regionally and is one of the most iconic athletes in the Midwest and has hobby love that is undeniable. This is why Bo Jackson's on my top 100 list. This is why, eventually, when we get there, Sandy Koufax. And, obviously, Jackie Robinson. It's greatest and most iconic. That's what this list is. That's what I collect. So it's trying not to be restricted by just the numbers. You use the numbers to properly rank where a player belongs, but you also have to temper that with how significant are they? What did they do for the game? And so that's why Kirby Puckett lands on this list where he does, number 88. So again, this man, probably the most beloved player in Minnesota Twins history. A good comparable player to Kirby Puckett might be like a Don Mattingly. But Don Mattingly doesn't land on my list. Namely because Kirby Puckett was just better in every way. He had postseason moments that Don Mattingly didn't have. He was able to win multiple rings. He was probably a slightly better hitter than Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly was a great defensive first baseman. Absolutely. But Kirby Puckett won 6 Gold Glove awards as well. So, with all due respect, that's why it's Kirby and not Donnie Baseball on this list. All right, let's look a little bit at some of these items for Kirby Puckett. Now, the autograph market for Kirby Puckett it's case in point, supply and demand. Sadly, because Mr. Puckett did not live to an advanced age, there just aren't a lot of autographs on the market for Kirby Puckett. So there is not a lot of supply. There's always demand. And so it's just, you'll find as you go out to the market that Kirby Puckett's autographs are not cheap. So that's why for a lot of years I kind of avoided them because they were pricey. And in recent years I've been shopping around trying to find the right signed Puckett card. And finally one popped up not too long ago. This one, 90 score, with a beautiful signature. I mean, it's really the autograph itself that attracted me to that card. And it's kind of a classic junk wax era card that I remember from growing up, the 90 score set, with a beautiful portrait of Puckett on the back. This is from his prime. This is from the middle of Puckett's career, which I also liked. Shows him mid-swing hitting a ball, which I also liked. But it's really the autograph itself that distinguishes this card. I probably will get it slabbed and authenticated at some point, but I was able to get this for in the $120 range, which I think for the Puckett market is a pretty good price, given the quality of the autograph itself. For a signed baseball, you're going to pay $250 to $300 for a really nice example. So I do not have a signed baseball, but the card definitely was enough for me. Now, why the 85 Donruss Puckett? Well, let me go into why I like this card in particular. His main rookie is the 84 Fleer Update, which that would be his true rookie because it's his only 84 card. And obviously, at the same price, I would prefer to have the 84 Fleer Update. However, for a number of reasons, I really like this 85 Donruss. For one, the quality of the image. Just a really beautiful portrait of Kirby Puckett. And a very condition-sensitive card, having the black borders, the black edges, and to have that in a high grade, in this case, a PSA 9, gives it some scarcity. And I think relative to that scarcity, it's undervalued. Just to go into some numbers here, the 84 Fleer Update Kirby Puckett, which is not as condition sensitive, it's got white borders. There are about 1,900 PSA 9s on the population report, with 561 10s. Right, so that's a junk wax era, high-ish population number. Now, for a equivalent grade of the 84 Fleer Update, a PSA 9, you're going to pay about $325 for that Puckett rookie card. Now, this is the 84 Fleer Update. The 85 Donruss here has a very similar population. 1,955 9s with only 338 10s. So there's only 338 graded higher than this. And what do you pay for that? About $60. So I see a lot of good value there. There's equivalent scarcity, maybe even greater scarcity. And it's about 80% cheaper than the 84 Fleer Update. That's why I gravitate toward value and eye appeal. In this case, you have great eye appeal of the image. I like the dark edges in a high grade because that obviously curbs the population in high grades. Now, if you watched last week's PSA reveal that I did, you'll remember that I had one of these cards that I sent for PSA grading, hoping for a 9. And in fact, it was one of the biggest disappointments of the order. It got a 7. Really beautiful card. Ends up getting a 7, which I still kind of have a hard time seeing why that's a 7. It's a beautiful card. And so what did I do? I went out and I just said, you know what? I'm going to go out and get the 9 because I have standards. In a card of that age, that era, to have the investability and to have that gain of value over time, I feel like I needed to have the 9. So I went out and spent another $60, got myself a nice 9, and then this one will be, this will be traded or sold. Maybe at the National this year, or to another collector that wouldn't mind having a 7, because it's still a very nice 7. So that's going to be moved along. These are the 2 pieces for Puckett that stay in my long-term collection. A beautiful PSA 9 rookie and a beautiful autograph. So that's my piece on Kirby Puckett, one of the true icons of the Twin Cities, World Series hero. Please subscribe, follow, like, and keep collecting and stay iconic.